It's safe to say that your workplace may not be a haven of peace in your everyday life.
Yeah, but before you let your emotions lead you to scolding someone in the office and beyond, we've got the perfect guide that's sharing the simple steps to keeping you cool and approaching the frustrations with a more spiritual approach.
All right, I'm here for it.
I like this.
Joining us this morning with a guide to finding your grounding in your workplace is Sensei Koshin Ellison. Hello, Koshin. It's so nice to meet you.
Koshin.
Thank you so much. It's a joy to be here.
Our first sensei on the show.
Our first sensei, and I already know this is going to go a certain way because for you at home, in the commercial break, we tend to ask our guests if they have any questions of us, and it's usually, which camera should I look at? I said, do you have any questions? And your response was?
What did you enjoy today?
I mean, no one ever asks us how our day is.
Not at this point.
So thank you for bringing that. I know. Tell us exactly, you're a Zen monk.
Yes.
How did you become a Zen monk?
Well, when I was a child, I told my mother when I grew up, when I was around 8, I came home from my grandfather's house and I said, I want to grow up and be a Zen Buddhist monk. And she was like, okay.
She just said, fine, no problem.
Just like that.
And it turns out I did.
Yeah, imagine that.
At 8 years old, what did you know about being a Zen monk?
I saw a picture in National Geographic magazine. It was this amazing picture of this monk just being very still, very content in the midst of this everyone else in the photograph was blurred. And so this sense of how do you find your ground in the midst of busyness and chaos. It was so beautiful.
So speaking of that, can you share some of the steps, some of the things we might be able to do to move ourselves in that direction in our work life and just in life in general? What are the principles of a Zen lifestyle?
Well, I think one of the things that's super important is that we can remember that we can feel whatever we're feeling, like awkward or nervous or anxious or overwhelmed, and learning how to ground yourself. So actually, like literally in this moment, how do you take yourself back and just feel your sit bones or feel your feet and say, I'm here, I'm grounded. And then for me, the next step is also to really allow your lower belly just to be a little bit soft. So to feel, sometimes putting your hand there and feeling the softness, and actually something happens to our mind when we just bring our breath deep, because mostly we're breathing like up here in our neck or in our shoulders. Right. And so learning how to be upright, and even if you can literally move your shoulders a millimeter back just to create a little bit more openness. So grounded, soft, upright, and open to me is a wonderful medicine for when we are feeling anxious, when we're feeling overwhelmed, when we're feeling nervous and uncomfortable. Sure. And we find what else is true.
Right.
So meditation is sort of the next step within that, correct? Is that kind of taking us in that direction?
You got it. You got it. And actually, those are the basic instructions for what we call zazen, which is seated Zen meditation. So it's to be grounded, to be soft in your belly, to be open and upright. So these are the exact instructions, but it's also what to do with your body, but it's also what to do with your mind, right?
Isn't staying in the present the most important thing to be doing in all of this?
It's the most important thing, and I find it rather delicious.
I like it.
Delicious. I like that. Can you tell us about, I love this title, by the way, Untangled. Tell us about this book, Walking the Eightfold Path to Clarity, Courage, and Compassion.
Yeah, so this book is really a guide to how do we work with our tangles. And there's an early text that says, the whole world is tangled in a tangle. Who will untangle this tangle? So it's up to you and me to do this together. And so it's so very beautiful. So to me, the book is really a guide about how do we slowly acknowledge each step of like really understanding that we have tangles, we have struggles, and to honor that, how do you move to really looking at how we cause some of that, how we kind of actually stay stuck to that,
in the tangle.
And learn how to pivot. And what are some of the steps? There are these 8 steps that really help us to move from clarity to courage and compassion.
I love all it.
Beautiful. Sensei
Love all
Koshin,
it.
I'm taking this book, by the way.
You can
I
take
get to read it first.
You can take it because you're going to get to a
I'm
tangle that
going to
you're
need
going to
it.
need help with.
I need a lot of untangling.
Sensei,
thank you so much
for joining us.
Thank you so
Great
much.
pleasure meeting you.
Real pleasure. Of course, we're going to post
you.
all of these tips to our website at pix11.com, and be sure to pick up your copy of Untangled right now.